Woo! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. We are pressed for time because we've only got 5 minutes to practice. I've done 2 of these videos before on a more broad subject of just playing the guitar, but today it's all about legato, baby. Legato! So if you want tabs for this lesson, that is linked down below. You can also check out the other 2 5-minute practice routines that I've posted. And yo, let's go! Alright, so let's break these down. Now, obviously, this lesson is going to take a lot more than 5 minutes, but these 5 really help build up a lot of endurance. And our focus here is not on speed, even though I did play some of them a little bit faster. You know, I really view legato sometimes as almost like a push-up. Like when you go slower with it, sometimes it can be more difficult because what it requires you to do is to focus on your technique. A big part of legato is the way you're pulling off the string. It doesn't really sometimes matter how hard you're hitting the string. You don't want to hit the string too hard and wear your hands out, but you know, a nice legato technique, I think, can actually, you know, technique over strength kind of approach. So the first one is this one. So basically, this is like an Eddie Van Halen thing. And what I found is ascending this pattern works, and descending, I like to shift to this 1-3-4 pattern. This one is like a 1-2-4. So we're just going like this, essentially. So 4-5-7 on the low E string, which is a hammer on. 4-5-7 on the A. 4-5-7 on the D. Now, straight up, this is like, you know, very similar to an Eddie Van Halen lick. Not completely his lick, so there's no copyright. And now we're going to go to the A string, 4-5-7, D, 4-5-7. I started to say C, the G, 4-5-7. Okay, so now picking on this one isn't, to me, crucial. I don't really even pay attention to it that much, but I am adding palm muting, and to me that gives it the notes a more defined sound. So I'm picking the first note of each string. Okay, now I go to the D string, 4-5-7 on the D, G, and B. Same thing on the B, G, and high. So that can be a really good one just to start off with to work on. You know? Something like that. Now what I do is I transition up. When I want to descend it, when you descend this particular pattern, it doesn't sound as good, at least not to me. So what I like to do is I shift up a half step, and basically this first one would be out of the key of A. That's how, you know, you can kind of resolve it. But I shift up to essentially this like A Dorian blues idea, and I do 8-7-5, and I do the same idea all the way down. All the way down to the G, then I start again on the B, then the G, then the D. And sometimes these fingers, that 1-3-4 combination, gives people the most trouble, so you can just sit there with that one. You know, over and over again. It's not like a huge deal, but get where you can do that. Some people, you might want to use these 3 fingers. I recommend trying it with both. You know, just to mix it up a little bit, but. Yeah, so then there's that one. So example number 2 is this one all the way up here, and this is another one I was talking about. Sometimes going slower is the key. So I have this repeating pattern, which is a very common legato-y shape that you see a lot, used all over the place. And I'm basing this here out of basically like this C major idea. And essentially I'm going like this. I go 12 to 8 on the high E string, then I go 10, then 12, then 10, 8. So, okay, so that's my first pattern. And you notice I'm using my pointer, middle, and pinky finger. I like to do those whole step stretches like this. Some people might want to do it like that. I've always preferred using my middle finger. So, like I said before, you want to have very clean and defined notes. Now, I pick my fingers up probably a little bit too far off the fingerboard, but, you know, to each their own on that. My pinky is always flying off the fingerboard. I can't stop it. Now, what I do here to transition and to make it a little bit more of a challenge and just get some different fingers in here is I switch to a 1-3-4 finger combination. So pointer, ring, and then pinky. And it's a little bit more of a stretch. I go 13 to 8, then 12, then 13, 12, and then 8. So, okay? But like I said, I'm not rushing these notes, you know, just sit there and go real slow with it. Make sure your notes are very clean and clear. You can move this shape around, you know, all over the place. Different scales, whatever you want. But this is a very good shape. And like I said, and just sit there, it's to me like a Steve Vai kind of thing. You can move it down, around, all over the place. All right, so next is this little two-string idea right here. And this is a really good one because for one, it's in the middle of the strings. You know, I'm on the D and the G here working. And this requires a lot of muting out of both your left and your right hand to get this to sound crystal clear. And this one uses all 4 of our fingers, at least the way that I'm doing it. So basically, it starts right here. And we're basically doing this A minor kind of idea. And I'm going to go 7, 9, 10 on the D string. All hammer-ons. Now, I use my pointer, middle, and ring finger for this. And this is the reason why I do this is to avoid shifting my hand to get to this next one. So I go 7, 9, 10. Now on the G, I'm going to go 7, 9, 11. Okay? Now the next thing I do is I pull those off. I go back to the D string, and I go 10, pull off the 9. And now the lick is starting over again. Okay? So we're going to go... Now I only pick when I'm crossing strings or when the lick starts over. So watch my picking hand. I go pick, 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 pick. You know, if you have a really strong legato, you could probably avoid that starting note if you wanted to. I actually like it. I think it gives it a little bit more definition. I'm kind of the person who likes that combination of legato and picking the most. But yeah, so that's a really good one right there. That's a very difficult one. It seems simple, but once you get used to it... Now what I'm doing is I'm keeping my right hand on the strings that are above where I'm playing. So I'm muting my E and A with my right hand. Now the trick is I'm dragging my index finger over the B and the high E string when I'm doing this. See how, see my index finger? That's how I'm muting that B and high E string. If I didn't do any of this, you'll start to build up noise as it goes on. Now next to me is this really cool, very melodic sounding exercise, which is just on 2 strings. And I'm utilizing 1 note on the B and then 3 notes, or essentially I guess 6 notes, on the high E string. Now it goes like this. Okay. Believe it or not, we're actually outlining chords. We're not too worried about that right now. So we're gonna go 5 on the B. These are all based out of G major. And then you're gonna go 3, 5, 7 on the high E string. Pull them off. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's 6 notes on the high, but there's 5, sorry. Again, I'm using muting to make sure my strings are not going to ring out together. This note is very muted. It's more of like an accent, you know? Now I shift up, basically moving up the scale, and now I'm in more of this, I guess you could call it like an Ionian idea, like the shape. But I'm going to go 7 on the B, and then 5, 7, 8 on the high E string. Now again, you can use these 3 fingers if you want. To be honest, I would probably go like this. That's just kind of, you know, what feels natural for that kind of a sequence. But by all means, you know, use your ring and pinky. Now I shift up one more time here. You could keep going if you wanted, but I just go to 8 on the B, and then 7, 8, 10 on the high E string. There you have that one. Alright, now this last one here is kind of a doozy, so buckle up. Because it's going to use all 4 fingers. It's very chromatic. It's actually a Steve Vai idea, but he picks this, and I ended up turning into a legato like long time ago. But basically, it's this, you know. Oh, maybe. My hands are getting tired now after this video. So there's the lick. Now basically what's happening here is I'm changing my starting note each time. And I start off here, I'm gonna go 8 to 5 on the high string. Then I go 6, 7, 8. Pull all those off. Now that's one passage on one string. Okay, even just doing that is good. Okay, now I move up to the B string, and instead of starting on 8 again, I go 7. So I go 7, 5, then chromatically up and down. Now I go to the G, I'm gonna go 6, 5. You notice now, we're just changing the starting note each time. Now it starts over. On the D, you're gonna go 8 to 5, 7 on the G, 6 on the B, or on the low E string. So all together you have. My hand muted the strings there for a second. And that's the last one. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, I know the video itself is more than 5 minutes, but practice each of these 1 minute a day and see how you go with it. So, till next time, yo, I will be seeing y'all on the flippity flop later. Bye guys. Whoop!